return game for you. Obviously didn't go to plan. How did you, I guess as one of the senior players in the team, what was the message after that game?
Yeah, well, I guess it depends who you speak to in terms of going to plan. It was spoken at a time I wasn't going to appear the rest of the season. Even in the whole scheme of things, I'm probably like 3 weeks early. So for me, that's pretty good. Personally, really happy to be back out there. And I think it wasn't the ideal scenario, but as I came on, Chiefy just kind of said, run around as much as you can and try. And so for me, that was great. For the team, really tough one to take for the club as well. How do we move on from that? I think we just keep going. We wake up the next day and we keep training hard, and we just try and tweak a few of those things. And like Lukey said, in his really positive interview, we must just want to score goals and get Costa on the ball more and just do little things like that to make it happen.
Chief said you're 4 weeks ahead in terms of fitness. How did the progression come about, and did you feel ahead of time throughout?
Not throughout. I reckon it was about week 5 or 6. It stagnated a bit. Or maybe week 4 where we had a second scan and it came back that it was a bit worse. Like those 2 weeks, there wasn't much progress. I wasn't really doing much here. And then I think it was 2 weeks ago I started training or like running. Once I started running, it seemed to go real quick. I mean, I've done a lot outside of the hours of training to get myself ready. It's pretty cool to be back so soon. I don't think it was supposed to go as long as what it potentially was said it was going to go. I think 4 weeks saying I'm 4 weeks ready is pretty generous, but I'll take it.
And how did you pull up after your run around?
Good. Mentally it took a little bit, but with the result. But physically good. I've recovered doing things even this morning and that to make sure that I'm okay, and I feel good.
Do you imagine now a bigger role come next game, or still sort of that same amount of time off the bench?
I mean, in my head, I want the bigger role. Whether that happens straight away, we'll wait and see. I want to be a part of the resurrection in a sense. I want to help the team push forward again. I think I can. And as long as I physically feel okay, I'll do everything that I can off the pitch to make sure I'm okay. And I want to be a big part of, like the rest of the boys, pulling ourselves back in and pushing ourselves back up the table.
Yeah, you're obviously a senior player in this group, played a lot of football around the world. What's missing for this team compared to where you guys were last season?
Momentum, for one. A little bit of cohesion too. We've had a season full of lots of different ins and outs. Those two things are quite big, especially amongst winning teams. And I think just Lukey touched on it when he talked about the club, not usually a team that's up first or second place at the end of the season. And that's not something you just learn straight away. Even for me, it took me many, many years to understand what it means to be in first place. There's a lot of sacrifices, there's a lot of hard work, Colo Colo and places like that. The winning mentality is pretty brutal. So there's a lot to learn. Perhaps it speaks to as why it's been so difficult this season with a lot of the expectations, and just something that we can take with us. We've kind of been through it now. Who's to say we might have a few downs still to come, but hopefully we have a few more ups and can finish the season in that original kind of goal where the club wanted to be.
Did it hurt more that the result was inflicted by Auckland?
Yeah, for sure. For the people that have been around the Phoenix for a long time, probably more so. Most definitely, and derby games like I experienced them with Melbourne and in Chile and things like that. They, what's the word for it? They're like, it's built up a lot more. The anticipation of it's huge, and the connection and the passion to these games is amazing. Like, it's beautiful, except if you lose. And when you lose pretty badly, I remember there was a year I was injured, but victory, we lost 2 of the games, 7-1 and 6-0 or something. And that was a tough like few weeks, no different to this one. And like I said, the only way out of it is to work hard, keep going, and turn around as soon as we can.
As someone who's experienced those losses, are you quite vocal in the sense of helping lift this team, or are you just a sort of a follow me sort of guy?
A little bit of both. I really do not like speaking in groups. Lots of people kind of looking at you. It's not what I really enjoy doing. I can do it on the pitch because that kind of comes a bit more natural after all the years of training. But I try to. We've spoken to the boys quite a bit. Try to keep it positive, try to keep it optimistic, realist as well. But just the idea of setting the standards again, just resetting, going through what's the most important things that we need, especially in this week, and just building it back up. I think as an experienced player, even though I don't want to, you kind of have to.
Do you still believe this team can make the six?
Yeah, for sure. I have to. We have to. We have to be optimistic. We have to have belief and hope. Life without hope is pretty bleak. So the season without hope would be the same. So I'm really optimistic that we can do it, realist from the situation that we're starting from. And maybe after 9 games, we're sitting here with myself or someone else and having a different conversation, hopefully.
Positives, obviously, your return and how quick you progressed. Does that match against Fiji? Does that come into your mind, or is there conversations about that, or do you just try and take it sort of week for week?
No, not particularly. I don't think I'm kind of ready for that. I've started 1 game all season. I think the All Whites are in a really good position, and I think they've been doing really, really well. I'm not concentrated on that. I'm concentrated on finishing out this season and helping this team to achieve their goals. I also think that for the workload, it will probably be a lot as well. Like, I do have to do quite a bit outside of the pitch just to be okay. Like, I'm early from my recovery, and that means that some of the games will impact it more, and recovery becomes a much, much bigger thing. So I might even be able to use the break that that international window gives us. But we'll see what comes when that comes around. I'm not kind of looking at it. I'm looking at the next 9 games and the impact that I and the team can make in those games.
And lastly, longer term World Cup, would that be realistic?
I'd probably love to be there, but I'm a bit of a different kind of position than Lukey in that sense. I stopped playing, what was it, like 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. I kind of take it season by season now. I know what kind of effort it is at this age to go through the different seasons. So I think the desire is there, the dreams are still there to be a part of a World Cup. Probably a better question to ask me once it's all done, once I've had a bit of time off and I've signed somewhere or have signed on again, they will, once because I've only got the contract for this year, if I was to sign on to something for next year, it's probably a clear idea that the intention is to be a part of that, if I can.
A few questions from Andrew Vorman and staff as well. How frustrating has this season been, with the pre-season injury first and now your latest one?
Yeah, frustration is probably the best word to describe it. Lots of ups and downs. Bit more resilience to have been built. Hard to watch a lot of it from the sideline, but pretty cool just to, I'm back amongst old teammates as well. And so as frustrating as it has been, it's been nice to be around them, like the Payneys, the Costas, Rufa, even the young, I'm probably more inspired now from our young team that we have. So, it's probably contributed to a bit of the inconsistency because it's really hard for young players to come in and out of nowhere starting all of these games. But their energy, their positivity, and their work ethic has kind of inspired me too. So I would say it's been frustrating on the pitch, but pretty good outside of it, yeah.
I think I know your answer given what you were talking about before, but would you want to re-sign for another season after what you said?
Yeah, I'll definitely keep it open like that. I've always kind of been a person that has looked at what the options are and gone from there. I've enjoyed my time here as much as it's been frustrating. I've enjoyed the people that are around here. I think they're pretty good, and they really care about the club, and it's cool to play somewhere that that's really cared about.
And watching Chico play and then joining him on the field, how excited are you to spend more time on the pitch with him?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's come in and just technically been really, really good. Even in the Auckland game, I have a fair sense that if we're to do anything good moving forward, like in the forward third, he will be a huge part of that, especially for Costa, particularly for probably myself and Hida and anyone else, and a good connector between the two. So I think he has a huge part to play. Hopefully he's ready to do that.